Guitar Lessons. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our study of playing lead guitar. We are working out of this book right here, Lead Guitar Wizardry Volume 1. Teaches us the fundamentals of how to get started playing lead guitar, some of the great techniques that we need to do and stuff like that. And right now in this video lesson, we're on lesson 15, which is the blues scale. Okay, so if that's something you want to take a look at, stick around and we'll learn how we can have the blues scale give us some different mood and emotion. Alright, so what we've been studying is how to play lead guitar, some of the techniques, some of the things that we need to do to play some really good guitar solos. And one of the most iconic scales of the playing solos in rock is the minor pentatonic scale, which we've talked about that many times. This one right here. It's a great scale because it works with a lot of chord progressions, okay? And what it is, it's just a variation of the major scale, okay? So instead of doing like, we're going to be working within the key of G right here, okay? So if we were to go G major, we would go Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to skip the 2 and we're going to just add a flat third right here, okay? So instead of going 1, 2, 3, we're going to go 1 flat 3, 4, 5, okay? 1 flat 3, 4, 5. Now what we're going to do with the blues scale is a blues scale is a little bit different, just a hair, okay? We're going to be adding a note, okay? The note we're going to add is the flat fifth. And here's what I wrote in the book. Next we will learn the blues scale. We'll learn the blues scale. It is almost the same as the pentatonic. The only difference that is adds a note in the scale in 2 different places to create a more darker, sad sound, okay? And the riff that I was playing at the very beginning was this one right here. Okay, that's Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath, okay? That's the opening riff. And then they come in with the verse, which they roll down the volume. Add this thing called a tritone. And as you can hear, this note that we're playing right here, this is the flat fifth. It gives it that kind of dark, moody sound. Listen to that. That's our flat fifth. Okay, that's the blues scale right there. It is very important to know in any key because by adding this or subtracting this note is going to change the mood and emotion of the music, okay? And in the book here, I'm actually working with the blues in the key of A right here. So that's our minor pentatonic in A, and we're going to add this note right here, the flat fifth. So now it's going to be... Okay, so we're going to add it in 2 places. We're going to add it here, 5th fret, like if we're in the key of A minor, we're going to be added right here at the 6th fret on the 5th string, and also right here on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. So we can add it in 2 places in this scale, okay? And what it's going to do is just give her a darker tone, kind of give it kind of a different color, so to speak, okay? It's actually the same note, just presented, it's presented, like I said, in 2 different positions. And in the book I represent it in the key of A, but I kind of were playing for this lesson the key of G just because of that Black Sabbath song. It's a really good example of how this is used, okay? Another good example of how this is used is in Metallica's song Jump in the Fire. They do the riff right here, they go. Now if you notice that, I'll play it slowly, you'll see it uses that flat fifth. And they extend on it. Okay? So that's a good way to kind of add a little bit of a different sound to your music, is by adding that flat fifth, okay? And what it is once again, in order to add that, I hope I learn how to talk here. Okay, in order to learn how to add that, we have to know our notes, okay? We have to know what we're playing in the scale. We have to know that, you know, this is our tonic, our 1, flat 3, 4, and 5. So by knowing that, we know that we could add it right there between the 4 and the 5. So you can just hear that note. It just gives it kind of a darker sound, you know? So if we play it without it, it sounds like this. We play it with it. See how it just gives it that dark. So that's a good thing to think about, okay? If you're writing songs or something, you want to give it a kind of a darker mood, that would be a good way to do it. Good place to start is to add that flat 5th in there, okay? And like I said, you could add it in 2 places, right here, 5th fret, and also on the 3rd fret, okay? We're in the key of G minor here, so it would be on the 4th fret 5th string, and also on the 6th fret 3rd string, okay? If we're playing it in B, let's say B minor for instance, okay? It would be in the same thing. Like I said before, think patterns, okay? It's going to make it a world of difference when you're learning this stuff, okay? So, if we're in the key of B minor, we're going to be right here at the 7th fret, and it's going to be 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, right there. The 8th fret, 5th string, and also on the 10th fret, 3rd string. Same position as when we were playing in G or A or F or E or D. C, doesn't matter. They're always going to be in the same position. So what you want to do is learn those positions and work with it, okay? Work with it when you're doing your hammer-ons, pull-offs, you know, slides, bends. You can just hear it. It just has a kind of a darker sound, okay? And work on your tremolo picking too. That was what we learned in the last lesson, was tremolo picking, okay? Especially if you're gonna play like a riff like this. This is a riff I was thinking that really utilizes the tremolo picking. That's pretty common. It goes like this. Now you've heard that, that's Thunderstruck by AC/DC, you know, and of course you could get these notes, but you got to get that tremolo picking, so work on that as well, okay? All right, so that's our lesson, just a really quick lesson on the blues scale. Just adds that flat 5th in there, okay? If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. I'll explain it a little bit better for you if you need me to. Just kind of think about where it's located, all right? In that first minor pentatonic scale, then later on we can learn about where it's located in the other ones. That's what we're going to be looking at next. Our next lessons is going to be looking at pattern 2, 3, 4, and if we have time, pattern 5 in the next video, okay? So that's going to be lesson 16, module 4. But for right now, let's just work that for that first pattern, you know, work with it all over, work with those minor progressions that I showed you. Okay, if you missed that video, I'll leave the links below. Make sure you watch for that, okay, because I always leave the links below there. And be sure to check out my website, because I always try to post these videos on there if I can, and write a little bit more in the blog, and so you have a little bit more depth understanding about the lesson as well there, okay? And like I said, if you need to, get this book. It'll show you all kinds of great stuff on how to play lead guitar. You know, just all the fundamental principles that you need. And like I've said many times before, don't skip your fundamentals. If you work on those, that's going to be that solid foundation that you can build on for years to come. Okay? So thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time. Find that 5th, that flattened 5th. Work with it. Notice how it changes the scale and the tone of what you're doing. And then we'll look at the other scales in the next lesson, okay? So thanks again. Until our next lesson, take care.